Okay, I'm gonna clap and then you're gonna clap.
Okay.
Nice. Sometimes I forget to do that. Welcome to Local Music Shapes Culture. I'm Alison Christoff, and I'm here today with Max Denari, a performer, photographer, and a vocalist for the band D.R.L.N. Is there any other way you would like to describe yourself?
No, I think that's probably one of the better ways somebody has described me. No, that was excellent.
Yes, of course. Max, how has being in bands and being involved in your local music scene changed your life?
I've only been in like a few bands, really just one. I mean, I've tried to be in a couple different ones, but I mean, in terms of D.R.L.N, I think it's super important for people to have an outlet, whatever that is. Obviously, I've been a photographer for a while, and I've always been really connected to music, like in high school, like listening to music, trying to find music, being like a nerd about listening to music. But I had no sense of like connection toward Indianapolis music or anything that was happening kind of in real time. So in college, I found that with Maud and like a number of my friends like Kilmer and Matt and meeting people like Beckman and Jake Kelly. It just became such a large facet of my life that I couldn't really imagine not happening. If I wouldn't have gone to college, I just wouldn't have the same experience. So I wouldn't have the same connection to like being in Muncie and
right. So many of those friendships like transferred to here.
It's just like it influencing your life in so many different ways because they're people and they have so many different threads and so much uniqueness. Yes, they entered your life through music, but you know they stay because they're full-scale human beings that like provide balance and they're friends and family. So, you know, just meeting people through music, I think, is one of the biggest saving graces of it. Obviously, there's people that you won't get along with or like you aren't gonna be best friends with, but yeah,
like
that saved my life though. Is just having like community, having people that you grow close with, and
right. It's much bigger than just the music or performing. It's the community.
Yeah. I mean, it's the community for sure. And I think the other side of that is performing, at least for me, just in the catharsis of it. So I just, you know, was booking shows in Muncie and felt that I had maybe the energy and the space to be a vocalist and to perform, you know, something that maybe everybody could attempt to do, but the kind of sustainability of that is not as easy, I think, as people think. It just, you know, worked out, and that's been like a really big catharsis for me because for the last like 6 years, if like I'm dealing with certain elements of stress or you know, just life happening, of course you have to deal with that in a way that's, you're not just banking on like, okay, I'm gonna go play shows and I'm gonna like lose my mind on stage and just like get my demons out, like that's gonna fix me. No, you have to do more work than that, of course, as everybody should be trying to do as they can. But it is a space that has really helped me. I think the people and just the ability to kind of have raw expression for 20 minutes.
For sure, on stage.
Yeah, it's just, you know.
Okay, actually, before we go further into that, do you want to describe what D.R.L.N is, like what kind of band?
I mean, I would describe...
You can say who's in it too if you want.
Yeah, I would describe D.R.L.N as, it's rock and roll, but I guess it comes from areas of like hardcore punk.
It's very influenced by like your surroundings here.
Yeah, and like, I mean, some of my favorite bands, like, because I essentially like preface, this band would not be what it is without the 4 people that have been in it for 6 years that are the music behind it. You know, I wouldn't have been able to do that or do this without them.
For sure.
You know, I just happen to have some potential ability with like kind of bringing people together, trying to like format a vision and like being like, let's do this thing, and they believed in me, so that's the most important thing. But musically, like the bands I was really thinking about, like in terms of that inspired me to thinking, okay, I can maybe make some music, or I want to be a part of that, was like Gang of Four, Ice Age, Parquet Courts, like Joni Mitchell probably. I mean, not
very
like...
very diverse influences.
Yeah, a lot of punk in there, but a lot of just like and those are just 4 artists, but I could go on for days about
For
it.
sure.
But like,
Yeah, I feel like you're like always someone listening to new stuff.
yeah, it's kind of a not a problem. It's just sometimes I have to be more disciplined and like, okay, I want to listen to this. I want to listen to this. I can't
Really?
I can't just like jump between things, of all the music I'm finding and listening to. It's already so chaotic, but it has to have some structure to it.
Yeah. I feel that I feel that a lot of the time with like listening to like podcasts that I like or listening to audiobooks, it's like I want to listen to so many that I like never end up finishing an audiobook.
Yeah, you have to
something.
focus on the task at hand for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and we're in a different age of. Everybody said this, and I'm sure you've talked about it on this podcast before, but we're in a different age of like media consumption in a lot of ways, and it's so much more short form that like listening. Even when I find myself in those spaces of like, oh, I want to like playlist and just like live, add different songs to it, but I'm like, wait, I was gonna listen to this album, so I need to sit and finish it.
Yeah, the full experience of an album. Yeah, in some ways the art of the album has been lost with like as a trend. Not that everyone's like lost that.
There's so many good things about it because you can like create playlists and you can create space with what you know and what you listen to in regard to music, and I think that's really cool. It's opened up lanes for people to like find new stuff and listen to different things that they wouldn't have had access to maybe 20 years ago. Not because you couldn't go crate digging, in 2000 or 1990 or 1980 or 1970, but you could. It's just there's just more for you to discover in a shorter period of time. Now there could be negatives there.
It's not like you're gonna like put a record on and listen to one song and be like, oh, time to swap out the record.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, people DJ and do that, but like you also have multiple decks. Like a normal person listening to music, you're gonna listen at least to a side or I mean, I've had sessions with my friends where we're just like, oh shit, I'm gonna drop this, like this song, like listen to this song, listen to this part, and then we just keep swapping out. But again, like kind of more of a average music experience, even if you're listening to vinyl, it's like you're gonna listen to the whole record. Or you're gonna listen to like a chunk of it, It's so much easier to be like, okay, this song bores me, or okay, this was cool, add, and then I'm going to add this new song, on a phone or on a device, because it's just, that's more of the like action of being able to do that, because we flip through apps, we flip through texts all the time.
Yeah, social media's definitely like changed that so much. And I am so interested in like the evolution of social media, because I think we're going through another major shift right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like I hear all the time my friends being like, I'm getting off of social media, off of Instagram, and like some people are, some people aren't, but I think as a whole people are like getting really tired of how it's been the last few years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
like especially since like TikTok era.
Yeah, I think I definitely have like a lot of thoughts on these things that I don't think I would be able to articulate concisely, or like coming at it from like the nuance of like, I know a lot of people even like our age, like late 20s, like not even that old, that are like, oh, TikTok, which like I don't have TikTok. I don't want to get on TikTok. I don't want to like make one band like that's not what our music is. Like our music is what it is, because a lot of bands have TikToks, and that's cool, like but we're doing it for different reasons than that. And personally for me, I think TikTok is a good service for like, it does get news and it does get information across like quicker than even other platforms that we have. And that can be used for a variety of things, in terms of resourcing or rallying or just like communicating.
Right, it's
really
like a way to access
messaging.
A lot of people quickly.
Yeah, and of course a lot of social media is, but TikTok particularly, like messaging wise, can be like really effective.
What do you mean by messaging?
The realms of like TikToks that I see, I think from like more political space. A lot of people like TikTok for the space or the reason or that method of like just blasting out to as many people as possible in like the shortest possible amount of time.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure can be really effective.
Yeah. I feel like it's also like the platform where it's like the easiest to just like shit post.
Yeah, also that,
it's like people, your followers.
The mirror or the adverse of that is like, yeah, you could just be like the most
it's like
brain dead bullshit
right,
that like is like just funny.
Exactly. You don't have to curate that much because also a lot of your followers aren't even going to see like all your posts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's also like weirdly the most like I remember Matt Kaiser was showing me like the TikToks that he makes for his work. The guitar shop he works
I didn't know
at.
Center Stage Guitar
Yeah,
did that.
and he was just showing me like because they have such a different like algorithm. Again, I don't have TikTok. I don't know like the
on the
verbiage,
app,
but like just the way that like if you post something, like the way it can get picked up is so much more different than like any other app.
Yeah, it's got such a smart algorithm.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all like powered by like artificial intelligence to like try to pinpoint like what you would want like my TikTok feed is so different from like sometimes when
Instagram or something.
When Rainey and Taylor would live here and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you saw that viral video." I'd be like, "No, my algorithm is so different from you guys's."
Yeah. I just
Mine will be like...
It's a liminal space to me.
Mine will be like, this is how to manifest an abundance mindset.
I think I would have swallowed like down the wrong pipe, even if you didn't say that. But that is funny. Not because it's invalid to say all that and to think these things and have want that higher vibrational sort of thought on TikTok. Like that doesn't take away from that necessarily, but it is kind of comedic.
Yeah.
It is kind of funny.
That's on TikTok. That's my algorithm.
Just like the fastest and just social media in general, the fastest, like quickest, like most modern space of doing that.
Yeah.
That messaging, like I said, is like, but then there's like people that want to do that, which is a good thing, and they probably feel like that's a good thing, and they should feel that way. But it does come off sometimes kind of weird.
What?
Just just like the higher vibration, but like we're doing it through
this app where you're just supposed to keep scrolling.
Yeah. Which again, both things can be true, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
I haven't really been scrolling TikTok a ton. I still post there sometimes, but
yeah, it's all very interesting.
I'm really trying to get on like Substack and like trying to get the Blue Sky algorithm to understand me. It hasn't yet.
How is Blue Sky? Is it like actually exactly like Twitter?
I don't know. The algorithm doesn't get me, and I don't enjoy being on it that much for that reason.
Yeah, I don't really. I've only been curbing apps really the last few years. Like I had, like I probably got rid of my Snapchat when I was like 22. I like got rid of my Reddit like a couple years ago, maybe last year. Don't have a Twitter. I tried to make it again because one of my buddies is like pretty like well followed on Twitter. You just like fashion stuff, and I was
Twitter.
like, oh, I'm gonna get on.
No, we don't need to be on Twitter.
Yeah, no. And then literally within a week, I was like, this is might have been 4 days. I was like, this is insane. Like I had followed maybe like 10 things, and it was all fashion, geography,
the
and
algorithm?
like music, and then
the
algorithm. I wasn't seeing any of that. The algorithm was just the most insane,
it didn't get
bigoted bullshit.
Ew.
And like it just it was crazy.
Yeah, see, that's why I have hopes for Blue Sky, because it's kind of cool, because it's sort of like a decentralized social media platform. I don't know if you've heard that much about this.
Mm-mm.
It's like no one specific like entity owns it. It's like multiple entities have say in. I don't understand it fully.
I mean, that sounds more collectivist maybe. Yeah, not owned by one mega corporation.
Yeah, and Substack is cool. I don't know. They just like don't really filter out anything. Their algorithm.
I think just people. Substack, you have to subscribe to stuff, right? Technically.
I guess
Like
you
if
don't
you
even
want
have
to
to.
read, like if you were, because I know a lot of journalists have Substacks.
Substack introduced a thing called Substack Notes, which is kind of like a Twitter Blue Sky type of
Gotcha.
text, like threads, like text, short form text.
Because I'm always interested in people like complaining about having to pay to read articles or certain things,
Yeah.
which I'm like, yeah, but also, God forbid you have to pay a certain amount of money in this day and age to like, because there's already so much information like that you can just get. But
Right.
I don't see that as like
Yeah.
a wholly bad thing.
Yeah, I don't know. People set it up in different ways. Like you can, like your entire Substack can be free,
Gotcha.
and you can have a bunch of free content and some paid content.
Yeah, that makes sense. It kind of tethers back to like streaming and stuff that I'm sure at some point we would talk about maybe.
Yes,
but
back to streaming.
back to music.
Back to music.
Back to music. Where I just makes me think about, 20 years ago, your stuff still get, depending on like what distribution you use.
Dude,
but
I think
it just goes on iTunes or wherever, and like you can just buy it as opposed to just be like paying monthly.
like back then.
Well, even now it's like
That's true.
Music
Or
still,
Bandcamp.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
the value of music is really in the shitter.
Yeah, I mean, I think AI generated music is going to completely like collapse Spotify. I really think so.
Like where they have like that like weird like shit on
Dude,
like jazz playlists, and it's like,
yeah.
oh, this song is like 1.5 million streams,
Okay.
and it's like their other song has like 1,000,
No, I literally.
and then it's like the weirdest like picture of a mountain, and it's obviously like, yeah, like AI generated, like, yeah, no,
yeah.
I
Dude, I like got, because I like, I don't know, I get these tech emails sometimes, and I saw this website that was like about AI generated like it was like you can describe what you want it to generate and it'll generate for you. Dude, okay, guys, don't cancel me for this, but I like
you did it, you made
yes,
an AI
I
generated
needed to
track.
know what was out there. Okay, and I said okay.
This mic might pick up my tummy rumbling.
You can go get more while I look for this if you want. Did you see the ants?
No.
Oh, really?
I'm putting this on a record that Alison put borax in my coffee the first time. So if I die on camera, that's why.
I heard it clings out your gut.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I did not do that.
Gutting by Kaya
I did not do
Hara.
that. There was an ant trap next
Gutting
to it,
by
and I just
Kaya
told
Hara
him,
advert promo.
I'm not killing Max.
Good.
There's no borax in his coffee. Anyway, so I went on this website when I saw that in my email, and then I I typed into it, generate like a hyper pop song about your dog getting like running through the mud and jumping on you and getting you dirty. Okay?
This is gonna be probably,
You ready?
yeah. Who does this kind of sound like? It's probably just people I've listened to on Spotify that are real people where I'm like, what?
Probably.
Is
I mean,
this-
it's trained on like actual data. And then I tell
Why was I about to start finger dancing to that? I had to stop myself.
it's like so. This this one I told it to generate a punk song with female vocals. Isn't this insane? It made this in a couple minutes.
And I say this. Okay, I'm gonna say this. This will never get back to this band. And I like this band. Like they kind of have like that 2010s, early 2020s. Like we're gonna make pop punk and make money. But I do kind of unironically like a lot of their songs. That sounded like a Pale Wave song.
Oh, interesting.
That will never get back to them, and honestly, I don't care because I said I like them
I can
in a
cut
lot
it
of
out.
ways. No, I don't care.
Okay.
But that sounded like a Pale Wave song.
That's so funny.
That sounded, that's crazy.
Anyway, guys, I did not pay to make those, okay?
That was free?
Yeah. It was,
That's insane.
Yeah.
Not because I'm like, the quality is so good, but the fact that you could do, no. The funny thing is, I was thinking about, because I've seen, like, mostly when I've seen it, I'm sure it's in other kind of genre space on Spotify, like playlists, but a lot of jazz playlists that are not necessarily like, that are more modern jazz, and even some, like, you go to like a
on Spotify.
Yeah, on Spotify, and there will just be artists, and a lot of the time, not always, I'm sure, but a lot of the time it's like very like Scandinavian, like in name, like Swedish or Danish kind of sounding. Not always, but, and it's just like, maybe they have 2 or 3 songs, and one has like millions of streams, like millions. The other one or other couple don't have like any, and it'll be like
on a
like
Spotify
stock
playlist?
like not AI necessarily, like stock like nature background as their like header on Spotify, and like they'll have like a name. Or it'll be like the blah, blah, blah trio or something.
Yeah.
And I've seen that. I've seen a few. I haven't really looked into it, like, in terms of other people talking about it too much. But a lot of people, or what I'm gathering, I should say, is I think Spotify does, like, create certain, in, like, big, like, hundreds of thousands of people have saved this kind of playlist. And they make these artists and then make money off of the streams from it.
Because I also saw an article where they just like had a band, right? It was just like where they had like a house band like hired by Spotify.
And
like
maybe it's that. Yeah,
something.
it's probably more that. It's these. It's what you're saying is probably exactly what I. Yeah. It's not like
I've also seen
AI
like
generated.
articles
It's
about
just like,
that, which is also fucked up because Spotify is just raking in the money.
Yeah.
Like it's like they're injecting it into these playlists.
Yeah. No, it's wild, and then I'm like, I see that on like other levels too, where I'm like, this kind of obscurely random artist that is popping up after I'm listening to this, like, not, a band that's maybe kind of big in like in the underground space, maybe has like 10,000 monthly listeners or something. So like substantial, but like not like a huge band. And like there'll be like really, really like vaguely not real looking artist pages too, where it's like it's a whole record, but there's no description, which is normal.
Yeah.
But then I go online and I try to find it.
It's like not really pictures of the bands.
Yeah, it's not really there. It's like just on streaming. And I think the first couple times it happened, I was like, okay, maybe
like
these
you
are
just
just
went
like,
online because you were curious.
Yeah, and it's like, you go on Google and it'll show you like them on the stream, like this album or these songs on streaming, but it won't show anything else. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is just like a person just dropping music. But it's happened enough times to where it's like, this is weird.
Yeah. No, it's fucked up. It's like,
these are like planted
fuck
underground,
Spotify.
like not even industry plants, like just like ghost posted like albums and records.
Yeah.
Like I've listened to like the Surfs from Cincinnati, and there would be this artist that would come, like literally for months would come up after them, like on the radio,
and it was one
post
of
a
those
release.
artists.
It was one of those artists. I'm like, who is this? They're not coming up at all, like online. It's just so strange. Like it's really interesting, and that's where it's. You even have stuff like that where, it converges like with the TikTok and like people kind of orienting that with like their bands and their accounts and like all the imagery with that. And
man, how did these get so dirty? My pants.
You're working.
I guess so.
You're renovating your house a little bit.
True.
But yeah, I don't know. It's all very strange, and then it just kind of comes back to like an ethos of like, even just to wind it back to like D.R.L.N, it's like as a band, like I just don't really fuck around with any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like social media and marketing is like important to a point, but after a certain point, it's like it's just about the music and having fun.
Right. It's always like ultimately like that's all any artist wants it to be.
Yeah.
It's to just be about the music.
Yeah.
And it like does suck that it seems like a lot of times for like people to actually make a career off their music, it seems like they do have to.
It has
really
to be
big.
like a little dance, a little jig to
Right.
like do the extra things to be
like
like
at that point it's not all about the music.
yeah, because it's like there are bands that get popping off of a TikTok, and again, I'm not like an asshole. It's like I don't see any particular problem with that. Like that's just another avenue of like, okay, maybe 50 years ago, like you put out.
No, it's not like you're criticizing them.
No, yeah, it's like just a more modern example of like you put out like a single in 1975 and then some like cool fucking DJ picks it up and is like one of the only people to really like at a higher level like of media like messes with it, and then they play it and they keep playing it, and then you become a big band, stuff like that. It's like kind of similar, I'm sure.
It's like back in the day, it was more about like networking, like in person and playing a bunch of shows, and now it's more like marketing instead of more. I mean, networking is still important, I guess, but it's like social media plays like a huge role now.
But yeah, there's also it's always been chance too. Like you can be one of the hardest working bands and never really make it, but it could just be in another, even in 50 years ago, a band could be like, again, just like a DJ plays your record enough times, and then it's like they're one of the only DJs playing your record in a region, and then you just blow up in that region, or in the States or in Europe or something, or in Japan or whatever. And
that is
now you have it just in a more mass connected way. Like if a TikTok blows up, then it's like not just regional, it could be anywhere, multiple spots around the globe that people know your stuff, but like it may not, it just, and that's the song or the two songs that get big, that then you have to like go forward with that. It's like, okay, how do we make music that will continue to do this? Or if you're in a different mindset, like let's keep making the music we want to make, we just have more ears on us now.
I feel like it's like nowadays you really have to get, like with your branding, you really have to tie in like a story to it. Like people have to feel like they kind of know you or know your story or are emotionally invested to want to like continue.
Yeah, and I to some degree I think that's true. I mean, in a lot of cases, like in the DIY space that like we exist in,
DIY,
I think you just have to like keep putting out music.
That's true. I was thinking more like Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely.
I was thinking more like mainstream.
Short and sweet.
genres.
That record's fire. Let me say that. I'm not a snob. I like lots of pop music, and I think I like lots of things. Yeah, it's a great record.
Yeah, she's a cutie.
Yeah,
but with DIY, the vibe's like, it's a little different because it's like, it's never really, a lot of the times, it's never really about that like commercial success, like the vibes of it,
Yeah, I think a lot of people go into it too. I mean, the breeze in this room is awesome right now.
Thanks.
I think, a lot of people go into this spaces like that and, pick up success and don't really know what to do with it. Which, like, I think anybody that does, like, that isn't, like, kind of, like, curated to become, like, super big, not just an industry plant or anything like that, but just, it's like Sabrina Carpenter's not an industry plant, but like,
no, she's literally been posting.
She's an actress.
She's been posting content since she was like 10 years old.
Yeah, and she's online and doing stuff on YouTube and acting and also putting out music for like 10 years since, like since 2015, 2014.
Yeah,
she had those like abilities to do that because she was an actress, but like that doesn't come without like her doing a lot of stuff.
Right.
It's not just, but
or like not even. I mean, even like Doechii and like Chappell Roan.
Yeah.
Like it's like they weren't like.
I saw Chappell Roan play in Indianapolis in 2018.
Yeah.
I saw her.
Cool.
Like she's been doing the shit like 100%. a lot of these super famous people like have been doing it.
Yeah.
Even if like, you know, Chapel was on Atlantic, you know, when her debut EP came out, and then she got dropped, but you know, so that could, you know, a lot of people will never even have that experience of being on like a huge record label like that. But that doesn't negate that like there was work being put in, and that there was like boots on the ground, like touring and making stuff happen.
Yeah, it's so funny. I've seen this like so much of the time people like think that if someone suddenly pops off to like worldwide stardom, they're like, oh, they were an industry plant, and then they like don't even see,
they don't
like,
think
all the
about
work.
again the nuance of what we've literally talked about
Yeah.
for the last 20 minutes and different threads. It's like there's so many ways that you could get big.
Yeah, true.
It could be overnight, it could be a grind, and then it be overnight, kind of.
Yeah.
Like where it's like, it feels deserved. You know, it could be regional or you know, cult success. Like, I don't know. It's like Kaya Hera. It's like Kaya Hera is arguably one of the biggest bands indie has like had in the last 5 years. I mean, since COVID.
Yeah, I was looking at our Instagram followers.
Just,
I'm like, damn, we have like 2,500 followers.
Yeah, it's like you look at numbers and its numbers are important and do tell the story and like streams and everything. It's also just vibes. It's also just like people coming out to shows. It's people.
Yeah, Mia's an awesome vocalist.
Yeah, it's like all the people that have played in it, the people that play in it now, the you know, just it's all of the things that kind of mathematically add up into what is success to a group or a person or a community.
I mean, I think D.R.L.N. is a pretty influential band in the scene too.
I mean, I think
y'all have been around for so long, and like a lot of people really like you. Yeah.
I think it's interesting because I don't know, kind of like going way back to the beginning of our conversation. It's like it was just something I wanted to try, and I was more than happy, more than happy, but I was more than I knew that it might not work, and that was okay, but it was at least something I was trying to do, you know, like
everything
a new
might
space.
not work.
Yeah, exactly. But we're here,
Does that mean you shouldn't try?
Exactly. But we're here 6 years later, and we're still making music, and we have new music in the bank that we're finishing up. Yeah,
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's definitely our best stuff, and
hell yeah,
I think some of the best stuff that I've done in terms of vocal work and different stuff too. So, you know, I don't know. Like I've talked to a lot of people, and you know, I've heard a lot of good words about us in the past, like recently and otherwise, and I'm very humbled by that. And I mean, I just want to keep pushing the sounds and keep playing and you know, really the only goal I've ever really had is like I just want to like contribute to the thread of Indianapolis music that like a lot of people have done for me that are, you know, ultimately way more important and influential and famous in that regard. It's like a lot of the jazz history in Indianapolis has inspired me, not because that's what I do or that's what we do, but like it just contributes to like a cultural cultural space that's
it's like a documentation of the times.
Yeah, and like
and the community, the space.
Yeah, I mean, there's blues history, there's jazz history, there's funk history, and there's punk history, and lots of other things in Indianapolis that are super important to me. That it's just I just want to contribute to that. So like in maybe it is a vanity thing to say this, but it's in like 10, 15, 20, whatever amount of years where someone is like, okay, you know, D.R.L.N. They think of D.R.L.N. in the same space as like where they would think of other bands, or like where they'd be like, yo, D.R.L.N. You know, I don't know, like there's.
I mean, I think we all have the desire to feel important, like culturally, like at some level.
Absolutely. It's definitely that for me. I think it's also just like I just want to be a contributor to the city that I love in like a way that like other people have done for me without doing for me, but like I receive what they put out in the
like
world.
I feel similarly in that like being a part of the like the music community here and the culture has like given me a lot that I wouldn't have found otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's especially in recent times where it's like more women and femme people are in bands, and like because lots of people lots of people regardless of their identity play instruments. It's just about, do they play in bands? Like, not always. Like, some people don't want to, you know, some people, but there are so many people that we don't know, or like that maybe go to shows that are really good at the stuff like playing instruments, and like you don't know because they just don't play in a band. But it's, you know, you're somebody that like, I think when I met you, I didn't know that you were a musician, but like you play like 3 instruments.
Okay, let's not tell the camera that.
What?
I just don't. Okay, I wouldn't say I'm not very good at drums.
Well, I mean,
okay, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't say that.
No, that's, you know, it's just you learn more about people.
I know. Honestly, if I like had some more time, this is like going back to like just figuring out like all my time of like having time to do things that I want to do. Like, drums would be the instrument I would want to work on the most. I know. Wait, you worked on drums for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I still do. I'm not good.
Do you?
Like,
yeah,
I wouldn't.
See,
if anybody
like
asks, whenever anybody asks me if I play instruments, I'm like, I mean, like, I'm a vocalist, but I am consistently learning how to play the drums. I would never consider myself a drummer, though.
I feel like something, because I felt this way with playing bass in Kaya is just like something that so much catapults your ability to like actually play your instrument, like play, and like feel like you like consider yourself a musician of that instrument.
Do you think that's because there's like a element of like there is contribution that you're giving, and that you have to like consistently like get better?
It's like the pressure. It's like the pressure of like being like, okay, I have to learn these things for this band. I can't like let them down. And like also, I don't know, for me, I like had a time frame. It was like I was asked to join the band, and I definitely like could not play bass as fast as Kaya when they asked me that. And so I was like practicing. So I was practicing for like hours a day.
Yeah.
Like just trying to get up to speed with that band. And I did like eventually get to the speed of their music. It's like I literally, when that happened, I literally just told myself, I don't have a choice. I just like need to learn it in this time. And like somehow
it's discipline.
The body is a magical thing.
Yeah. No, it's discipline.
Yeah.
You weren't procrastinating. You were just like, all right.
Yeah.
This is the catalyst.
Right, whereas it's like, well, I'm not practicing drums because I don't need to, and I guess it's just not a priority, even though I would like to again.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much time in a day, and for again, maybe future projects will be drum oriented for you.
We'll see.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's cool. Like, you just. Again, that was something I learned about you, and then you started playing in more bands, and I was like, this is fucking awesome, because everybody should have, like, the space to, like, at least try, like we talked about, like, at least try to do something or figure something out musically if they want to. Yeah.
I feel like I love to see new bands pop up all the time. Like, a lot of times I feel like it's, like, people that have been in bands already, like, are reforming, like,
it's, or a side project
people.
Or.
But like, what I really love is when it's like completely new people.
Yeah, or if it's like familiar people with like not familiar people. Half the band is like, you know. Sometimes that's the catalyst too, but like absolutely.
Yeah, that's true.
Seeing new people play music that I know, and I didn't know they played music, or they never had played music, or people I don't know. It's like a lot of the younger people, like the Goose Flesh type bands, or like Situational Hazard, or those kind, like Bloomington / Indianapolis bands. Yeah. Like I kind of know, or I've seen some of those people, but I'm sure I don't know this is fact, but I'm sure some of those people had never been in bands before, or if they're going to shows in Bloomington and Indianapolis, and
I don't know.
and again, it's like a lot of those people have played music forever, I'm sure, but it not necessarily been in like a front facing like band where there's at this time in the 2020s everywhere, but especially in Indianapolis and in Indiana. Like, if you make a band, like, there's a good chance, like, you could just really go for it in terms of, like, just playing shows and, like, being in front of people. Like, it's a lot. It's kind of scary, but, like, if you make a band and you are in a community space, like, you know, like, certain people, like, you're gonna get booked, like,
for sure.
I've
never.
Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm fully wrong about that.
I mean, some people just, like, probably don't know everybody or, like, have the connections to, like, for people to even, like, know of them to invite them. You know?
It's just like, if you're in, like, the more punk spaces, I think in Indiana, like, even in, like, Fort Wayne or Bloomington or Indy or where, you know, wherever, I feel like most people are gonna be like, okay, we'll book a show for you, kind of thing. I mean, I would. It's just, I mean, like, Chance would do that. You know, Chance Allen would probably do that. Like, I don't know. Like, it's not everybody, but I feel like there's just so many younger people that, like, at 18 or 19 or 20 or maybe even a little younger, that just trying to do it and, you know, have had the ability to do it.
Yeah.
Not because of people being like, yeah, I'll help you out. It's just, like, just the willingness of being like, yeah, fuck yeah. Form a fucking band.
It's like, yeah, we'll put you on our bill. Especially when there's, like, 3-4 bands on a bill. It's like, yeah, you can be one of the bands on the bill. You know what I mean? Yeah, I feel like especially if you don't even know, like, a bunch of people where they know that you've started a new band, if you are, like, just willing to put yourself out there and, like, ask around and ask people who are booking shows, you know?
Yeah, I mean, again, kind of the thread is, like, we do live in this age where it's like you can essentially find any, like, avenue, like, somebody that's booking or a venue online, and, like, at least try an open dialogue with them. Yeah. Which isn't always the best case, because, you know, people won't respond, or, like, they have lots of emails or DMs, but it's all possible because you can just do that. Even as being in D.R.L.N, it's, like, sometimes impossible to, like, get responses from venues or people, which is, I get it. I totally get it.
I feel like just being a performer, being in a band in general, you got to get used to rejection.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I mean, not even direct rejection, but, like, just being unafraid of if anyone doesn't, like your performance or anything, you know?
Yeah.
Or music.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know, you came to the show. I mean, I tell people that all the time, like, people that know me not through music, and they find out, like, I'm in a band, and they don't have as much understanding about, like,
they're like, I don't really know about this type of music.
Yeah. And I'm like, you probably won't like it. I mean, maybe you will. Like, I don't get to determine, like, what you might or might not like. You know, I don't, you know. Yeah. It would be wrong of me to be like, oh, you're not going to like it. What, don't you, you know. That a lot of cases, I'm like, I explain, like, what kind of bands maybe we sound like, or people compare us to, like, from an angle of D.R.L.N, and people are like, I don't know what that is, and I'm like, okay, you just have to listen to music then, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't.
If you don't, you don't.
If you come to a show, you come to a show. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah,
there's really nothing more to it than that.
For sure. Yeah. It's funny when people that don't really listen to punk music or anything, like, especially people that care about you, when they're just like, yeah, I'll come to your show, and it's like, that's so sweet. I know you don't like this.
I'll come to your concert.
That's my favorite.
That's like that's the like identifying word.
Yes.
And that's the identifying word when somebody. And I'm not even saying this out of, like,
no, it's
being
so
like,
funny.
Oh, you normie. It, like, who cares, really? But that is an identifying word. No, it's funny, but it's like, you know, it doesn't just, like, it shouldn't, like, you know, take people away from, like, doing something.
Like my grandparents will be like, do you have any concerts coming up?
And it's like, yeah, which is like, it's not a wrong word. It's just kind of like, a concert to me is like somebody playing to like 10,000 people.
Yeah.
In my brain, a gig or a show
It's a smaller thing.
is like more of an underground or DIY.
Even hi-fi is like a show, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To me.
The only
guess.
the only show I've ever played where I would be like, oh, this can maybe, somebody said, family members were like, oh, we'll come to your concert on blah 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 day. It's like when we opened for Destroy Boys at the Hi-Fi Annex. It was last August.
See, the Hi-Fi Annex has a really big capacity.
And there was like 700 people there.
Damn.
So I would consider that's where my threshold becomes, okay, I guess this is a concert. Which, like, it's such a stupid, like, lexicon, like, space that doesn't like, matter. But it just, that is always the defining word where I'm like, if someone says concert.
You'd know they have no idea.
Yeah, it's like we are not thinking in the same, or the biggest phrase of people being like, so where do you play in indie? Which again, it's like that's a valid question. It's just the phrasing of it is funny, and right now it's especially weird to respond to that because it's like there's not a lot of places like DIY places to book or to play.
No, there aren't right now.
So I'm like, we play here, and we did play there, and there, but those like don't exist anymore.
Like 5 podcasts in a row, there's been a bit that's like bring back house shows. Yeah.
There's sometimes, but not very often.
Maybe a one-off sometimes.
Yeah, Steph had that one show at her house
when she lived in her other house.
Yeah.
In Fountain Square.
Yeah.
She had a few shows at that
There's
house.
probably some like other punk shows that have definitely happened in recent memory that I didn't go to that I'm like, this is definitely at a house, but I don't, that's still not super frequent. And then, I mean, it's long shot being gone is the main issue, I feel like. When you went going from like 3 pretty good rotational spaces of like State Street, Healer, long shot to 2 is massive.
Yeah, I really miss long shot.
And Atomic being very sparse in its show potential.
Yeah, we could use some more venues.
It could be you.
Yeah, you could.
Watching and or listening. It's not going to be me.
Oh, house shows.
It's not going to be me. Yeah. But it could be you.
I think it should be some nice college kids. College-age kids.
There's a venue on like the southwest side. It's like a skate park.
Oh, Q Skate Park?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played there once.
Yeah, I had not heard about it.
I played there with Pigmail Brains and Anti-Feds.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a fun show.
That's kind of an insane show, just with those 2 names.
I know, Anti-Feds always bring out people to shows that I never see at any other show.
Yeah, it's like a different realm of like the punk scene.
Yeah.
Definitely more oi. People that love oi, people that love like that realm of rock and roll, like
yeah, for sure.
I feel like not everyone taps into those. People don't necessarily, those individuals like don't fuck with certain other kinds of punk as much. But if it's an oi band, they're out there, which is fair.
For sure. Do you have any upcoming shows with D.R.L.N. that you're excited about?
Yeah, we have a show. We help open for Laura Jane Grace at the Hi-Fi on June 8th.
Oh, cool.
She was the like vocalist and like guitarist of Against Me. So that'll be cool. And then we play in Lafayette at the Spot with Chemical X from New Jersey, who just put out a really good record, kind of straight ahead, like hardcore punk record. And then we play June 27th at State Street Pub with Inner Peace, Swan Wash from Bloomington, and Zastava from Detroit, who are about to put out a new record in June. And then we should be on the road for a couple days after that.
Really? That's fun.
Yeah, in Ohio, hopefully, if things align.
Where are you at right now with D.R.L.N.? Where would you like to see it going?
I would just like to, I mean, I feel like I always say this, but I just get on the road more and I really am excited to put out the new music that we have. We have a couple songs that'll probably come out this summer, I hope, if everything gets mastered.
A couple?
Yeah, I mean, we have like 7 new songs that are all recorded and we're finalizing.
Who'd you record with?
Bill Stack.
Nice.
The legend himself.
Truly.
So hopefully we'll put two of those songs out this summer, and then we have like a 5-song EP, like kind of like full scale, like cohesive project that hopefully will come out in 2025, but it just depends at this moment in time. We have some possibilities with release around that. Maybe it'll come out this year, maybe it'll be in 2026. I would like it to come out this year because I think it's really good and I want people to hear it, but
yeah, for sure.
And we haven't put out new music, and we haven't put out music period in 2 years. Insane.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize it had been that long.
Yeah, Broadcasting came out in March 20.
Was that your last release?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Which, again, it's like talking about what we were talking about earlier. It's, like even in this, in the underground space, DIY, whatever you want to call it, space of the music industry, it's like you kind of still have to you have to keep putting out music, even in like little chunks, even if it's a song that just like keeps engagement and
hype,
attention to like what you're doing. Obviously playing shows too, but
and then you can have a record release show.
Putting out music online is like easily the thing to do in terms of how you keep people engaged.
Yeah, for sure.
And I like that we've taken our time, but I'm ready to get these songs out because I think they're all really cool and it's their best stuff and it's different. So
yeah, I bet
it's different than a lot of the things that we've done, but it's also the same because we've also put out a lot of random shit that all sounds.
Is there anything else you would like to say on the podcast as we close?
You're gonna have to edit until when I say something because I'm thinking.
Yeah, I know. It's okay, I'm used to it.
It's gonna be rather political probably, but go outside, touch grass, listen to albums all the way through. I'm literally saying this to myself too. Defend your trans and queer friends at all costs. Defend feminine rights at all costs. Don't be a scene cop, and just make sure you uplift and help people in your community. Practice communal love, even if in the small things, even if it's like helping your neighbor out, asking what you can do for somebody. We live in a very strange time, so just make sure that you're practicing little bits of communal love.
Hell yeah. Yeah, get outside, be a good person, listen to some music, get off the internet.
Touch grass.
Make an impact.
Touch grass, pick some flowers, and then plant some flowers.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for joining. This has been Max Denari. Thank you for coming on the show, Max.
Thank you for having me.
If you guys want to support, you can subscribe to my YouTube, Substack, follow on Spotify or Apple, even though we talked about opinions on streaming.
The tools and mechanisms that fail us but also support us.
Yeah, it says we have to engage at some point. Thank you guys. Join next week for whoever is on next week. I think I'm gonna record 2 this upcoming week, so
you should do an episode where you
it might be just little
talk to yourself.
Where I talk to myself.
Yeah, it's literally
like I edit it?
Yeah, so it's like you're sitting in this chair and then you're also sitting in another chair. That should be one.
Oh, wow.
That'll be really
a
hard
lot to edit.
I mean, I've always wondered how hard that is to do. It's probably not as hard now, but
I'd probably have to record one side of I don't even know. Would I have to hop to the other chair?
I think you just have to I don't know. People have been doing that on YouTube since the 2010s and I'm like, it's only gotten easier, I'm sure, to do, but I'm still I don't know how they do that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Movie magic.
I try to minimize my editing. Thank you guys. I'll see you next week.